today's conversation. Boy, maybe I should have called someone to come and help me, because I have a lot to say, and then again, I don't feel like saying anything. I mean, one of those conversations. And here's the question. Let me just shoot it. The head of the household is different from the breadwinner. Yeah. The head of the household is different. It should be is the head, right? Is the head of the household different from the breadwinner? Yani, the one who has the ching, the person who's bringing home that pig, the proverbial bacon. Is that the breadwinner, the head of, yani, the person who has the most mulwa, the one who's bringing home that money? Is that the person who has the say? Is that the person who has the pants in the relationship? More on that. Hey, ya leo nini? Tricky. And today we have a very sticky conversation, and I'm going to bring culture into it, and I'm going to bring faith into it, because, I mean, it comes with the territory. So when you're looking at a marriage, when you're looking at a serious relationship, we're not talking about situationships here. Who is the head of the family, and how much money someone brings to the table? Does that play a part in that conversation? Do they have equal say? For instance, if it's a wife who's bringing in more money and she wants to wear the pants, or are the pants just to be worn by a man? His economic status notwithstanding. The question is the head of the household different from the breadwinner? Is the head of the household different from the breadwinner? I feel like we keep having this conversation and circling the mountain. We just word it different. But I'm here for it. I will always be open to give you my 2 cents and having meaningful discussions. And where I go wrong, I learn from you, and vice versa. Sindio? So, chop. We listen to another song, 1 or 2 more, and then I come back. We have that discussion. Sindio? And it's time for our conversation. We call it Word Around Town. And today we're asking, is the head of the household different from the breadwinner? Yeah. I was thinking about this conversation even yesterday. When I was prepping for the show. And I'm like, it could get ugly. We'll talk about this conversation over and over again. We'll keep wording it different. But in essence, it is asking one thing only. Is a man reduced to the ability of his provision? Sinukweli? Because I asked very many people in my life this conversation. I was like, is he still the breadwinner if you bring more money to the household than him? And I brought up the Bible. The Bible says the man is the head of the home. It does not have ... especially or only when he provides efficiently for the family. Culturally, the man is the head of the home. A man is the one who steers the family in a certain direction. In conversation, basically in everything, right? There's also not a dotted, there's no dots, there's no but and if or, right? It's just the man is the head of the household, period. But now you need to have to look at where we're at as a human, as a race, right? We're living in harsh times where everybody has to chip in. But in that chipping in, because you cannot, this is what I was arguing with someone close to me, my blood relative, and she was very clear and categorical that you are not going to say that a man is provision, and then when I help you provide, then you want me to help you provide. She says, if you're saying you want clear drawn lines, then a woman should be provided for, right? Period. You want to be helped, but you also don't want to be helped in the decision making because it'll hurt your little feelings, John, right? Now I'm saying, if you want to wear big boy pants and talk about you are the head of the family, you are the decision maker, right? And you've said there's no and plus if or, the akuna and but if or. wewe ndio ndume, wewe ndio simba, the conqueror, the lion, the right. So I'm like, it is such a sticky conversation, and someone will always leave hurt, and most of the time it's the boy child. And I'm like, if you're not going to bend the rules a little, because sometimes we are in an economic situation where we have bent the rules by women also helping fend for the family. So you will always be the man, you'll always be the man. But just kidogo, let's look at, and you're going to tell me not to equate a relationship to a business. Let's talk about Standard Group PLC. We have the single largest shareholder, right? That person gets a bigger vote than the person who owns a what? 0.01% stake? Why do the rules not apply when it comes to marriage? Just make it make sense for a woman who says that I bring home most of the money. And money talks. Don't start talking to me about, we don't live in the caveman era. Where you live, your children go to school, that provision is because of this woman. You don't tell me at all remotely. I'm not saying disrespect, but I'm saying this woman doesn't have a say kidogo even. I'm not on whatever side, because I have sat down here and I've told you so many times that we're not going to reduce men to a wallet. We're not going to reduce a man to the amount of cash in his account. Cindy, we're not going to reduce a man to provision. But I'm saying at the same time, you keep blowing hot and cold and confusing women. That you're saying, oh, you have to help the man toil. You have to. So if you have if I'm leaking into your responsibilities, I can see why. I'm not saying I agree or disagree with. I can see why women are having a challenge staying in their lane. Cindy, you have said the neck cannot be on top of the head. That saying that the head will always, kichwa yezi pita shingo. I only know it in Kiswahili. That the neck cannot grow in size, or the neck is used to hold the head up. Right? And this analogy meaning the woman will always be the neck and the man will always be the head, of course, right? But lines are blurred. Gender roles and I just like, there are no rules. I don't know why we are so stiff with the rules. And no one is trying to emasculate anybody. Nobody is trying to... I don't know if we're having the same conversation, but it's a tough one. And everybody has some very clear argument points. So I do understand the women who are like, you don't have 100%, you can't have that entitlement of saying you're the head of this family. Why isn't it a consultative position? Why isn't it collaborative position rather? We say this house, I know you're going to say, oh, there's no animal with two heads. But if you're saying that a man should provide and this woman is helping him provide, maybe sit down and iron out the sharp corners to have consensus, because it makes sense. Even my light is flickering because of the... I can't wait to hear from you and what you have to say about it. Is the head of the household different from the breadwinner? Is the head of the household different from the breadwinner? It's such a controversial conversation. And this is the reason why so many relationships will not withstand the test of time. Should we revisit? Should we say that we're going to stop thinking in a certain manner because it was instilled in us, but the factors have changed? 2025, everybody is just trying to survive. And you're not going to just rely on a man for provision in your household. We need multiple sources of income. Are we fair to the boy child in the same breath? So that you say your money is our money, my money is my money. But our conversation today, it's one of those. Yeah? It's one of those nerve-wracking, we'll keep circling the mountain with this conversation. I'm sure our grandmothers were having the same conversation. And maybe we will not have a conclusive end. Because guess what? Life is fluid. We keep changing, we keep evolving, because there's so many catalysts. And the world keeps changing every second. So, but I'm going to give you my 2 cents. Because we asked you, is the head of the household different from the breadwinner? Yes. The breadwinner in English simply means the person who is providing for that family, correct? It doesn't have to be, let me give you an analogy. Executive producer. You've seen sometimes like a movie, executive producer, Barack Obama. You saw the movie Barack and Michelle Obama executive produced. That means that's the person who's footing the bill at the end of the day. Right? The head honcho. But in terms of l'argent, money, flus, cheddar cheese, this is the person who's footing the bill at the end of this, whatever this is that's going on here, this shere. But someone who is giving strategic direction, someone who is giving security, even emotional security. Someone who, let me tell you something, I do not bloody care how much money I take home every end of the month. Yolanda, Bane, Mulwa, Nye, me, myself, sitting on this chair. My opinion is not cake. I keep saying I can't cut and give you a slice you eat. It's just mine, the same way you have yours. And we say opinion ni kama, unajua tut, everybody has their own. C'est vrai? Tuko pamoja? My man will always be in charge of my household. Because guess what? I like to be taken care of. And taken care of is more than material. I just like being ambiwad what to do. Not like I don't have a brain, but I just like someone who kuna mtu anatupatia strategic direction ndani ya nyumba. Even when someone, rings the doorbell and I'm just like, and it's in the middle of the night, I'm like, baby, wake up. Go and see who that is. But you see, different strokes for different folks. Me, I'm not going to tell you how to live your life. You think because you have money, now suddenly you're a Mano's man. You want to buy for him a dera. Because he's in a rat. And you married that dude broke. What did you think was going to happen to him? Sometimes maybe that's not his strong suit. Maybe business is not his thing. But he has foresight. Everyone is good at something. Some people, it's direction. This is the person who has the plot. You remember even when you were in college and you always needed someone with a plot. Unapiga simu. Kwach. What's going down? Anakwambia, it's the long weekend. We're going Vasha. And that guy is broke. But he's the guy with the plan. Sometimes I look at life like that. That sometimes we're not all blessed in that regard. Maybe you married potential and you're right? But this dude maybe is good with, in fact, he's the one who gives you the peace of mind and fortitude to multiply your wealth. Is the guy who, has your back. When I go home, I have this guy who listens to me. I have this guy who is my sounding board. I have this guy. Maybe he hasn't been lucky and blessed the way you've been blessed. Me, my dad is the one who had a say in the digs, so maybe I'm conditioned to think that way. Maybe that's the reason why I have a bias. And I believe that the dude wears the pants in the family no matter how much money I bring home. That's how I see it. That's how I see it. Let me read some of your comments. And then when you shout at me, just know when I go home, I don't read our comment section. So I never saw ma, so I'm good. Your comments, Alexander Kungu says, this is a very loaded question. Regardless, the breadwinner is not always the head of the house. Whomever is making the most money isn't necessarily the head of the house. I can bring money home, but my mama is the foundation of my home and vice versa. I love how you think. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom with us. Stephen says, in a patriarchal society, I know the patriarchy will always just sneak in. Okay. In a patriarchal society, the breadwinner is also the head of the house. But in our current life situation, the breadwinner may not necessarily be the head of the house. I'm saying things are fluid. Nothing is cast on stone. Things keep changing. Things keep changing. Baba Wanda also goes on to add, the head can be any of the two, since you never know what may happen. Anytime, if I am gone, she'd stand up for me, for the kids to be catered for. It's like this thing of not letting your woman take charge sometimes, and then, things happen, and then you chip. And then she's just damsel in distress. You've goofed now the children. I don't know what, So sometimes it's actually not a bad thing. Sometimes it's not so bad to let her hold down the fort. I'm just saying, let's be fluid. We need to stop being so rigid. And then I go to Parklands Baptist Church, and my pastor is Pastor Ambrose Nyangao. So you can go and quote me. On Sunday, he told guys, give your wife money. Give her your ATM card and give her PIN number so that it may go well with you in the land. And happy life, happy wife. But he also, in the same breath, said, women, respect your husbands. But have you scared? When you get in the digs today, just chop her, slap her with those cards. And then you just send her PIN. Change. You'll see. There's no chick who's ever been given money and then she's mad after that. Hey, sinangoja mnitukane. Kwanza pale TikTok. You insult me. My sisters are the ones who read those things. Me, I don't. So, tough luck. I said what I said. Still to come, DJ Khaled featuring Rihanna's Wild Thoughts, because today we are wilding out in our conversation. But first, let's hear from you and what you had to say about the conversation. Remember, the conversation continues on the socials at Spice FM KE on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You can at me as well at Yolanda Mulwa. Use the hashtag Sugar and Spice. Use the hashtag Word Around Town.
Yes, only because by default setting, I expect that the person that I would be dating, in this case a man, is already the head of the family, and by default he's also the breadwinner. He is expected to provide, to protect, to love and care for his family. So that makes him the head of the family, and that comes also with the responsibility of them, being a breadwinner. So I agree with that. If I am the breadwinner, there is definitely no man in my life.
My name is Joseph Juguna. I completely disagree that a wife can be the head of the family. It's biblical. Men are the head of the families, and it is men who are tasked in the Bible to love their wives, and wives are tasked to submit to their husbands. So the issue of a woman working and claiming to be the head of the family on a mere need that they are breadwinners cannot work. So men remain the head of the family, and they are to love their wives, and women must submit no matter the position. We also have CEOs who are top CEOs in the country who are married, and they remain loyal. Top CEO ladies who are married and they remain loyal to their husbands.
Yes, being a breadwinner to me automatically makes me the head of the family, simply because there is no way a woman is supposed to feed a man. Women are supposed to suffer in labor, men are supposed to toil for their money. That's simple.
I don't necessarily think so. Just because you bring money to the table doesn't necessarily mean that you have any kind of authority or direction, or that you have any sense of authority or direction. Money isn't everything, at least not every day.
Sugar and Spice on 94.4.
Spice FM.